He has to be able to say, you know, with all the things that I need to work on, I still care about myself. If he does not have that idea, if he does not have that mindset for himself, how is he going to have that mindset with you? That is the exact mindset that you need to be in a relationship with a man if you're building a relationship that is based on genuine trust. It is easy to forget how the relationship that we have with ourselves will determine the quality of our life. Ariana Grande, it was recently reported that she's planning on taking a break from recording after her recent tour performance. Many fans who have seen her in concert and have seen pictures of her, they have some concerns about her health. She's looking a lot more frail. She's looking a lot more sickly. Now, I'm not sure what's going on with her. And if there is some underlying medical condition, I hope whatever it is, she's able to figure it out. But I don't believe Ariana Grande, and the reason why I want to talk about this is I don't believe Ariana Grande is the only person who experiences aging, who experiences health issues, and who may be so focused on her career that we neglect the relationship that we have with ourselves. We'll forget to take care of ourselves because we're taking care of other people, especially if you're in a high performance career, if you're in finance, consulting, if you're in any of the trades. If you have a high performance career, it is easy to get so caught up in your career that you forget to take care of yourself. You forget to go to the doctor. You forget to go to the dentist. You forget to go to therapy. Essentially, if you have a high performance career, all the efforts that you have, all the time that you have is spent trying to get you better so that you can get to the next level. And then once you get to the next level and you get to the place where you want to be, where you're earning the money that you want to earn, everything that you have is designed, and everything that you have gets committed to making sure that you stay at that spot or you don't move down. And when that happens, a lot of times our health can suffer. And sometimes it takes a third party, but it takes someone who you trust to come to you and say, hey, look, you got to take a step back. Your career is going to be there when you take care of yourself, but you got to go to the doctor. That promotion is going to be there when you're ready to move up, but you got to start taking care of yourself. When you don't take care of yourself, you start pouring. Some people will say you're pouring from an empty cup. And when you try to pour from an empty cup, it is hard to create and it's hard to maintain healthy relationships, not just in your personal life, but in your professional life. There's times in every single relationship, whether it's a personal relationship or a professional relationship, there are times when we have to go above and beyond to build a bridge when the other party is not capable of building bridges. There's going to be times when you're going to have to be generous when the other person is not being generous. There's going to be times when we have to hold ourselves accountable when the person that you are with is not holding themselves accountable. There's going to be times in every relationship where you have to communicate clearly when your partner is not communicating clearly. There's going to be times in every relationship where you're going to have to be transparent when the other person is not capable of being transparent with their feelings and their emotions. There's going to be times when you have to create a safe space for vulnerability when the partner or the person that you are with is not able to create a safe space for a vulnerability. There's going to be times when you're going to have to take the lead and explore intimacy and demonstrate that you have the security and you have everything that you need to explore intimacy when your partner is not comfortable exploring intimacy. There's going to be times when you're going to need to pour from your cup. And if you're not creating the reserve energy, if you're not taking care of yourself, and you're not able to pour from that cup, and if you're not able to pour from that cup, then the relationship can fail. And when your personal relationships fail, you lose that fulfillment, you lose that love, you lose that part of your life where you can create a legacy. You lose that personal relationship. You lose that opportunity to create a lifelong relationship. When you don't take care of yourself, you don't have the energy to pour into these relationships. And what happens is your professional relationships fail. You're not able to close that sale because you just don't have the emotional energy to deal with a difficult client. But if you had the emotional energy because you're emotionally healthy, you can pour into that client and you can close that sale. You're not going to be able to move up. There's going to be times where you have to make a commitment. You have to invest mentally into into your manager. You have to make sure that you're not just doing what your manager asks you to do. You have to make sure that you're going above and beyond to get that promotion. If you're not pouring into yourself, if you're not taking care of your mind, if you're not getting rest, you're not going to have what it takes to and to invest mentally into that next promotion. You're not going to move up as fast. You're not going to make as much money. Your career is not going to be as successful as it could be. It's important to look after the relationship that you have with yourself. The relationship that you have with yourself is one of the most important investments that you can make. You got to hold yourself accountable. Communicate kindly to yourself. I know some of us have inner critics, and that inner critic is so brutal. That inner critic, it says some of the meanest, some of the most callous, some of the most effectively depressing things that you can ever imagine. You got to learn how to communicate in a healthier manner to yourself. Learn how to be transparent with yourself. If you like something, say you like it. If you love something about yourself, acknowledge it and say, yeah, I love this about myself. Don't just acknowledge the negative things. If you just acknowledge the negative things about yourself, you'll begin to think that you are just a negative person. But 90% of you may be correct. 90% of you may be good. And there may be only 10% of the things that you actually need to work on. But if you only spend all your time focusing on the 10% of the things that you have to fix, you're going to start developing a poor self-esteem. You're going to start developing a personality trait that is very limiting, that's very negative. You're not going to be able to experience happiness. You're not going to be able to experience joy when you hold yourself to a standard where you're just focusing on the 10% of the things that you need to fix and you never acknowledge the 90% of the things that you're doing 100% right. You got to learn how to be vulnerable with yourself. You do want the relationship that you have with yourself to be a healthy relationship. You want to find the love that you need in order to love yourself and to accept yourself so that you can live the life that you want to live and you want to experience joy. Then you have to learn how to be vulnerable with yourself. You have to learn how to acknowledge your shortcomings, learn how to acknowledge the things that you feel insecure about, learn how to develop those muscles that allow you to spend time not just acknowledging them, but then also working on them. Turn your weaknesses into your strengths. We're all going throughout life, and the things that you are weak on when you're young are going to be the things that you're strong on when you're old. And then the things that you are strong on when you're young, those are going to be the things that you're weak on as you get old. That's part of life. Life is very interesting. Every single day is a little bit different. You got to learn how to be vulnerable with yourself and process those vulnerabilities. Accept yourself for who you are. Stop thinking like you have to be perfect every single time. There are so many people out there that look perfect on the outside, but they're struggling with the same things that you're struggling with. Learn how to be intimate with yourself. There are some deep emotions. There are some deep thoughts. There are some deep things that you desire. Learn how to accept them, acknowledge them, explore them. Take the relationship that you have with yourself seriously. There's some people out there who never explore the things that they feel deepest about. There are some people out there that have been in relationships for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years. They've been in a relationship with someone else for 60 years, but the relationship that they have with themselves, they're so inexperienced at it. They don't even know themselves. They have not invested in the relationship that they have with themselves. And then they wonder why their marriage is lacking. They wonder why they don't feel romance. They wonder why they don't feel love. They wonder why they don't feel genuine trust in their relationship. Well, it's because they have not invested in the relationship that they have with themselves. And if you haven't invested in the relationship that you have with yourself, if you don't trust yourself, how are you supposed to trust other people? Sometimes when I'm walking around and I'm going to the gym, I'm just living my life, sometimes I take notice of the level of makeup that people wear. And I remember times when I used to be at a bar or in a club or walking through a mall and I would see a woman wearing makeup. And there are some people when they wear makeup, it's all done. You can tell that they've invested time, they've invested money in their look, and now they're walking around the mall or they're walking through the bar, or they're dancing in a club, and you can just tell that they have invested so much time in their appearance. And then there are some people out there who are on the other scale where they've invested zero time into their appearance. They haven't done their hair. They haven't done their makeup. They're not wearing any lipstick or lip gloss or chapstick. They're just out there living their life. But then I see everyone else in between. And then I see the 90% of the people who are in between those two extremes. A woman who doesn't wear a whole bunch of makeup, but a woman who's wearing some. A woman who hasn't invested all of her time in her look, but she hasn't she's invested more than nothing. She's invested some time, but it's not all the time. And then I think about what type of woman goes through life and gets ready to go out into the world, and what type of woman invests time into her appearance. And then what investment is she making? And I tried to predict based on what their makeup looks like and based on what clothes they're wearing and based on how they're carrying themselves. I try to predict whether or not that woman is working on herself, and if that woman is investing in her appearance based on something that she desires from other people. Is she externally motivated or is she internally motivated? Is she expressing the love that she has with herself? Is she putting on makeup because she loves herself? Is she putting on the clothes that she is wearing because she loves herself? Is she putting on is she walking through life and working on her appearance and her outward appearance because she loves herself? Is her appearance an expression of the love that she has for herself? That's what I try to figure out when I'm looking at a woman that is well put together. I try to predict, okay, is she doing this because she loves herself? Is this how she takes care of herself? Is this a representation of the self-care that she's doing with herself? Or is she simply putting on a uniform to get the attention of men, or to get the attention of the world, or to get some sort of external validation? A woman who gets ready and works on her appearance and invests in the way she looks because she loves herself is a woman that is demonstrating that she is ready to be in a long-term healthy relationship that is based on genuine trust. Because a woman who loves herself is going to be able to love other people. A woman who does self-care is going to be able to care for other people. A woman who is generous with herself is going to be able to be generous with other people. A woman who takes care of her vulnerabilities and works on her insecurities is going to be able to take care of other people's vulnerabilities and other insecurities. But a woman who doesn't, a woman who is not doing it because she loves herself, the relationship that she has with herself is broken. And if the relationship that a woman has with herself is broken, then if you try to be in a relationship with that woman, the relationship that you have with that woman is also going to be broken. And then you're going to be wondering, hey, why isn't this working? Why isn't this date working out? Why is it that whenever I get close, she pulls away? Why is it that she's not listening to me? Well, it's because she never developed a relationship that she needed to have with herself. She doesn't even listen to herself. How is she going to listen to you? She doesn't hold herself accountable. How is she going to hold herself accountable in a relationship with you? She's not transparent with herself. How is she going to be transparent in a relationship with you? A woman that doesn't have a healthy relationship with herself is not suitable. She is not ready to be in a relationship with you if you plan on building a relationship that is based on genuine trust. But it's not just about women, it's about men too. A man that doesn't have a healthy relationship with himself is not suitable to be in a relationship with a woman that plans to be in a relationship with a man with the type of relationship that she wants to be in. He's not ready to be in a relationship with the man if she's looking for a relationship that is based on genuine trust. A man has to have a healthy relationship with himself if you plan on being in a healthy relationship with that man. If that man doesn't hold himself accountable for the things that he said that he's going to do, he's not ready to be in a relationship with you. If that man is not able to communicate with himself, if he does not journal, if he doesn't speak well of himself, if he doesn't have a good relationship, if he doesn't know how to communicate with himself, how is he going to communicate well with you? It is important for you to look for a man that is transparent with himself, that says, you know what, this is how I'm feeling, this is why I'm doing X, Y, and Z. This is the inner work that I'm doing. A man has to be able to be transparent with himself and his emotions. He has to be able to look in the mirror and say, yep, this is the type of man that I am. These are my weaknesses. These are my strengths. This is what I'm working on today, and this is what I'm going to get better at. He has to be able to look at himself and say, you know what, these are my failures and these are my successes. A man has to be able to be transparent with himself before you can expect him to be transparent with you. He has to be able to look at himself and say, you know, with all my faults, I still love myself. He has to be able to say, you know, with all the things that I need to work on, I still care about myself. If he does not have that idea, if he does not have that mindset for himself, how is he going to have that mindset with you? That is the exact mindset that you need to be in a relationship with a man if you're building a relationship that is based on genuine trust. If a man doesn't know how to know how to create a safe space for vulnerability, if he does not know how to process his insecurities and acknowledge them, how is he going to be able to process your insecurities and acknowledge them in a safe space? Look for a man that has a healthy relationship with himself, and then you're going to be able to enjoy a healthy relationship with that man. If that man doesn't know how to be intimate with himself, if he does not know how to process his deepest thoughts and his deepest emotions and his deepest desires, if he does not know how to process the deepest things that he thinks spiritually, if he does not know how to look them in the face, if he doesn't know how to acknowledge them, if he doesn't know how to work on them, if he doesn't know how to explore them, if he doesn't know those things, how is he going to be in a healthy relationship with you where you plan on exploring intimacy with him if he has never explored intimacy with himself? Do you think that you're going to be just the magical relationship where you're going to be able to introduce the man to himself and allow him to explore intimacy? Yeah, maybe. But 90% of the time, it's wrong. 90% of the time, a man that is not able to be intimate with himself, is not able to acknowledge the things that he desires, he is not going to be able to handle when you acknowledge the things that you desire, when you share your deepest emotions, your deepest thoughts, your deepest spiritual beliefs. He's not going to be able to process those in a healthy relationship that is built on genuine trust. If he's judgmental with himself, he's going to be judgmental with you. And a man that is judgmental is not suitable for you to explore intimacy with him. And if he's not suitable to explore intimacy with you, he's not ready to be in a healthy relationship with you that is based on genuine trust. Gentlemen, ladies, the relationship that you have with yourself is going to be one of the most rewarding relationships that you can invest in because it opens up the door to healthy, productive, positive, enjoyable, professional, and personal relationships that are based on genuine trust.